Hello Crypto Gang, welcome to another Lambo Life video. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. This is part 2 video of the most dangerous man in crypto. If you haven't seen part 1, I'd recommend you watch it before this video. First of all, I just want to clarify that this video is not to attack Jihan, but only to raise awareness of the dangers of having a monopoly over the mining operations of major cryptocurrencies. I personally have nothing against Jihan, and I consider him as one of my role models in business. Now that we got that out of the way, let's get down to the mining centralization discussion. Bitmain owns not just crypto mining equipment and warehouses, but mining pools as well. They own Antpool and jointly own BTC.com. Both are the top 2 mining pools in the world, giving Bitmain 42% dominance in hash power. Now, the growing concern is if Bitmain reaches above 50% hash power, they may decide to launch the dreaded 51% attack, a hypothetical cyber attack by a group of miners controlling more than 50% of the network's mining hash rate, allowing them to prevent new transactions from gaining confirmations, ignore payments, or reverse transactions. But how does this happen, and how much damage can it bring to the network? I'd like to thank Jimmy Song for sharing his expert insight on this topic. Mining centralization can mean 2 things. Either one company producing majority of the world's mining equipment, or one company controlling majority of the hash power. The first part has been explained in part 1. Now let's discuss the other one. The dangers of having a concentration of hash power. There are 2 ways this could happen. Scenario 1. Majority-only chain. One obvious way a company can exploit their monopoly of hash power is to simply reject blocks from everyone else, basically taking every block reward for themselves. They could also deny transactions they don't like, or they could possibly try to double spend as well. Attacks like this cannot last very long, and even in the best case scenario for the attacker, they will likely just waste their computing power while causing minimal damage to the network. Scenario 2. Turning off hash power. The majority hash power don't have to attack the network to exploit their influence. They can simply refuse to mine and provide the proportional security for the network. For example, let's say the majority owns 70% of the hash power. They can refuse to mine as a way to add political pressure for a certain feature, such as the SegWit back in 2017. This would be similar to a hunger strike. This scenario would cause a big problem called network congestion. A Bitcoin block, which normally takes 10 minutes, would now take around 50 minutes. The mempool, which holds all the unconfirmed transactions, would fill up fast. In a nutshell, transactions become slow and expensive. This scenario is much more expensive for the attackers, however. They would have to give up about $10 million per day in revenue for this operation. Even if Bitmain's equipment were to be utilized on another network, their profitability and opportunity cost would suffer quite a bit. But what if the destruction of Bitcoin becomes important enough to risk this? Always remember that no matter how much they try to hide it, governments are threatened by Bitcoin's features. If there is any reason they aren't making a direct move against Bitcoin, it's likely because they don't understand it enough to recognize its danger to their existence. But I actually doubt that. I doubt they are stupid. I doubt China is stupid. China had banned sales on initial coin offerings last year. And this year they have stepped up their pressure on domestic cryptocurrency activities, including mining operations. When Jihan was asked about China's stance on cryptocurrencies, he could only say, and I quote, "I'd rather not give any comment on the regulatory policies of the Chinese. It's too sensitive." What if the Chinese government find it in themselves to believe that for whatever reason, China is better off if Bitcoin stopped existing at some point? China is less libertarian than most countries. They might think twice before doing it, but the Chinese government could dismantle bitmain anytime they want. Taking bitmain out of the equation, China still holds majority of the world's crypto mining operations. Just think about what they could do in the future when crypto dominates the world. This begs the question a lot of Bitcoin fans might hate, including me, that what if we are better off using non-mining cryptocurrencies like Stellar, Cardano, and Neo? None of them are perfect, and that's why we are here, pushing the limits of our innovation capacity. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to give a thumbs up. If you just stumbled upon this channel, be sure to subscribe too. In part 3 of this video, I will continue about Jihan's journey at present, as well as their future plans, including artificial intelligence. See you guys.